Welcome back to Captain of Industry. This is episode 17 in our Let's Play series. Don't hesitate to check in the video description below if you want to see the full playlist. 2 years have passed since the last episode. Remember, in the last episode we upgraded our electricity production. We are now more than 4 megawatts, so we are easy, we're good on electricity for a while. But now in this episode we're going to start mega project. 2 mega projects actually. We finalized the number of research that I mentioned in the last episode. We finalized the naphtha processing and naphtha reforming. As I said in the last episode, we're not gonna use that right away. We're really good right now on fuel. That's not the problem. We could start using the fuel gas, but I don't really need it right now. Let's pause that for a while. We've also researched the corn, the soybean, and the chicken. So now we've unlocked a number of new things. We can give corn, we can give eggs, meat, tofu. So a lot of new things that I'd love to do quite soon. And yes, we have a bit of space here, but this is not optimal. I want my city to be able to start growing over here. So I want to start moving all of those farms. I want to have mega project for farms. And this is one of the 2 major projects I'm gonna talk about just now. So we've done enough after the corn, the soybean, the chicken, and we also unlocked the large storage. This is why the episode is called Mega Storage for Mega Project. We've now unlocked those huge storage like this. They cost red parts, but you can store 2,160 units. This is huge. Obviously, this is a lot more than this. It doesn't mean this is a lot better, because red parts actually cost a lot to make, right? They cost a lot of gold parts plus steel. So this is not actually super economical. It's better often to put multiple of these, but they also sometimes look really cool, I feel. And so in particular for my storage of elements, I've started to really clean it up. There used to be a really high number of those small ones, like you can see here, and now I'm starting to clean that up. I've done it for those few, and we can do it now for these ones. There's gonna be 2 scenarios. One scenario is that you have the space. For example, here I have the space to put a new one to replace this, or there could be another scenario where you don't have the space and you want to really replace where it is. In the scenario where you have the space, that's pretty easy. Basically, you obviously put it in the sort of direction that you want. Here, this is in this direction, and then you can either delete it and your truck will go for it, or what I think is even smarter is you put a conveyor, that goes like this, up. Of course, you're going to also sort of pause that one, otherwise this will continue to get full, but you do this, and therefore everything that's in this will just go inside this one, and then when they are empty, you can just delete them. If you want to put it somewhere where there's already something, well, you can do it in 2 steps, where you put another one over here, and we can put the conveyor like this, up, and then when this is empty, you delete this, you put this one over here, and then you put a conveyor from here to there, right? So let's actually do that, because I want to do it for those 2. Now, on top of that one, we've also finished the glass making. This is a really critical one. It's a very critical one where we're going to take some sand, some limestone, some salt, and if we want some acid or not, to make some glass mix. Then you take this glass mix, you add some coal, that's gonna give you molten glass, and with that molten glass, we can make glass. This is definitely something I really want to do quite soon, to be able to make vehicle level 2, as I said. We've also done fertilizer level 2, which is not super useful right now because I'm not producing enough fertilizer level 1 anyway for this to be useful. This can just be useful if you really want. You have too much sulfur, but I already showed you in the previous episode how to take care of your sulfur. If you add a bit of limestone, you can make slag and then send the slag in the sea. And we've also unlocked ship bridge level 2. Basically, if you go here, you click here, you can go to level 2. Costs quite a bit of steel, mechanical parts and electronics, but I have definitely that. We can do it. Then I also want to arrive at pilot level 3 as soon as possible. Another big thing we need to do right away is here in my water facility. I am now using more than 60 per minute. My population has grown. We're almost at 1,600. So the pipe that's here is not keeping up with the demand. It's too small. So let's make sure that we upgrade it. And then this should start, filling out again, and the water here we should get again our Unity boost, which is of course quite an important one. Okay, perfect. Because in the meantime, also our mines are continuing to grow. I'm adding more walls. But let's talk about the mega project. What are those mega projects? Well, the first two is basically using that plateau over here. We've taken out all of the trees that are here, and I want to do two things. One is I want to start producing tons of water with some byproducts, important byproducts, like we'll talk about it just now. And this water will be used for mega farms. I want to put tons of farms over here so that I can produce, everything that I need to produce, corn, potatoes, wheat, and all of this. And then all of these farm materials can go down into over here and can be transformed, in this plateau over here. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to stop digging into this mine to keep this sort of flat and use the mine that's all the way over here. We'll talk about the farms in the next episode. I'm preparing a very cool layout, you'll see it. Today we're going to talk about water. And for the water, we're going to use those new thermal desalinators that we unlocked. Before talking about this layout though, let's discuss if those thermal desalinators are actually better than what we used to have. Because in a previous episode, we already built here with basic distillers a way to make water out of seawater, right? And because this was using basic distillers, this is just 30 construction part, basic ones, just 6 people. So it's pretty efficient, in terms of cost and in terms of people. On the other hand, the thermal desalinator, it requires some maintenance, it requires some electricity, but it actually does require less people. It's 4 people out instead of 6. So this is really a good choice in terms of people. Not so much a good choice in terms of everything else, because it's also costing construction parts level 3 and steel. So in terms of cost, this is huge, but in terms of the people, this is a lot better. As you can see, this is also slightly more efficient in terms of conversion, because we're taking 60 seawater in both cases. Here we are only getting 36, and here we're getting 48. But the truth is that because you need steam, and that to make steam, most of the time you need to use water, the actual water is the same. The water that you make is actually the same. You also make the same number of brine, 24 in both, but here you were making exhaust, right? So we were sending exhaust into the atmosphere, which is pollution, which is making your people unhappy and sick. So this is also another advantage of the thermal desalinator. The other advantage is that later on, you do get other ways, other recipes. We have this one, for example, here with steam low, and then later on we'll get even with depleted steam. So, there's different ways to use it versus this one is quite, you do need to just use coal. Here we're using coal, but remember that here we also need steam high. And to make steam high, one of the easy ways is just to use coal too. So this would use actually less coal. This is 24 if you have 4 of these, versus if you have 4 of these, you need 1 boiler, which is 18. So it's 18 versus 24. It's a bit less coal, but still you do need coal. So once again, these basic distillers are actually quite good. They're not that bad. This is not a lot better. This is just a lot better in terms of people and in terms of pollution. Long term, of course, the resources or the electricity, that's not so important. So I'm happy to go with it. And that's what we've started over here. And this is a huge one. This is huge. This should definitely make us a lot of water. This is actually, to be precise, almost 1000 water. 960 water per minute, but it also does require some water for the steam, right? We actually have 5 boilers here. So in total, this is a net of 720 water. And with this 700 water, we can feed more than 20 farms, which is the idea here. I'm planning to put at least 18 farms. So, there's the space. So this will be used directly there. And that way also, the water that we're making here can be used more for electricity, for the people, and not so much over here. So these are 20 thermal desalinators. They take seawater and steam high. The seawater is coming from over here. And this is another thing that I've done and why I call it a major project or mega project, is because I had actually to do a lot of dumping and a lot of mining to make this perfect. As you can see here, you see a lot of dumping, here a lot of dumping, here too, and also some mining. You know, the floor wasn't fully flat, there was some small hills, so I had to mine it to make it flat, and here I had to dump a lot, definitely a lot, especially because it's high. So anytime you want to fill one tile, you know, it obviously falls also. And this is also why we're using a new pump that we just unlocked, which is the tall one. They are providing 120, which is obviously 2 of these thermal desalinators. So instead of 20, we have 10 of these, 8 over here and 2 over here. I can continue to dump more and to put more here if I want to extend it in the future, but that should definitely be enough for a while. Now, right now, as I said, I only have the pipe level 2, which is 200 per minute. This is 120, so 2 of these won't fit into one pipe. For now, I've just put one pipe for each. And that's why you see so many of those pipes. Of course, I could have also played with the elevation. I put this one at level 0, put this one on top, level 1, etc. But I also felt that this was pretty cool. And honestly, I have the space. It's not like it's that I need this space over here. And this way very easy to manage. You know, if you start from here, this one goes to the end. You can see it here. It goes into that one and this one. Then this one goes over here, and then all of these, you know, this goes over here, there, etc. So every time, you know, one pump for 2 of these. Then we need to make steam. We're making the steam over here, and then we're sending it at level 1 all over here. And as you can see, I actually have 2 pipes over here, because 5 of these times 48, that's 240. So once again, one pipe is not enough. At least not enough at the beginning. When I've put some of these into the first one, then I can put it there and it can continue, it will be enough. For the steam, so it's the same, you know, it's always going at level 1 and then goes down. With the pipe level 1, it doesn't need to be a pipe level 2 because this is only 12, right? So that's 24. Goes down like this, connect there. So always the same as you can see. For these boilers, they're gonna need water and coal. Coal is gonna come from here, and actually, you know, there is a lot of coal over here. The idea is I start a new mine over here. For now, a mine on the ground, and then it can be also a mine underground over here. Because if we look at the terrain, you know, I have a lot of coal over here, and then there's also a lot of limestone over there. So we can make a sort of huge underground mine with this being the entry point. So that's the coal going at level 1 all the way and going down. And then the second thing is water, right? Well, water is what we're producing here. And we need, once again, 48. So that's 240. 240, that's 5 of these. So basically the idea is that those 5 over here are going to deliver into this thing here. And all the other ones are going this way. To make it even better, I did put a pipe balancer over here, which takes basically those 5 as input. So, you know, this is easy, there's no need to put priority. And then we definitely want to put this as priority out. Like we want to make sure that water comes this way. But just in case this is full, then the water can also priority this way into the rest. Similarly to everything else, you know, 200 is not enough, right? Because remember, we are making almost 1000 of water. And that's why, once again, I need several pipes and not just one. This pipe will then go this way into all of my farms. But remember, that's not finished. We're also making brine. Once again, this is 24. So 24 times 20, that means 480. Once again, one pipe won't be enough. So 24, that means we can put 8 of these on a 200 pipe. So that's what I'm doing. You know, there's 8 here, then 8, and then the remaining over here. So that's 4. That's going on one pipe. That starts over here. Now it takes all of these there, all of these, all of these, all of these. That's over 8 now. And then a long pipe that continues over here. Similarly for the second one comes here and the third comes here. This is all of the entry points. Then I want to make sure that this is priority because we're gonna actually use the brine. We're not going to just dump it, we're gonna use it. And use it into those evaporation ponds to make some salt. So as always, you know, 48 times 4, that's one pipe. So I have one pipe over here that does all of these, and then I have another one over here that does those 4. And then the salt comes over here and over there to go into that huge storage. If I wanted the perfect ratio to, let's say, use all of the brine, I would need 10 of these. I've only put 8 for 2 reasons. One is that the pipes, that would need a 3rd pipe. Similarly, for the conveyor, I would need 2 conveyors. And frankly, this is already a huge production of salt. I don't think I need that much, so this is totally fine. But that means we need to make sure that we can dump the rest of the brine, and also when this is full, we need to make sure that we can dump this brine. This is why those 2 pipes are doing over here. They're going into the 3 dumps here. Each of these dumps is 60, so that's quite a lot. Now let's use C to see the cost of this whole thing. This is almost 1,300 red parts. So remember the red part that costs so much, almost 500 steel, 145 normal parts, almost 500 gold parts, and a bit of rubber. So that's a huge thing. But if you look at the numbers below, I actually have enough. I can build it now, it will be built. I can guarantee you it will work. But actually I don't want to do it. Why? Because we're going to unlock pack level 3 just now. And this is 3 research away, it's gonna get just now. And with those pipe level 3, which take a lot more than the previous one, we can kill a lot of those pipes. Sure, it's going to cost us even more resources to build, but it will be a lot cleaner, a lot easier to manage. So I definitely want to just do that. So I won't build it right away. And in the meantime, I'll start working on the farms here to be ready. We'll also soon unlock our advanced smelting, which basically unlocks, a lot of new recipes, level 2 blast furnaces if you wish, and similar for all the other buildings. So we'll be able to increase our production with that. It does require to crush our iron and copper ore in most of the cases, so we'll have to be careful about this, but that also will enable a big change, a very important one. So again, feel free to just use this layout if you want. If you have only those level 2 pipes, this works really well, no problem, but also feel free to wait for the next episode where I'll show you how it is clean with pipe level 3.